Hey guys, MCU Collect here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series number 83, the G.I. Joe Tunnel Rats. So I just got mine delivered today from Amazon, so I think it's in stock or shipping soon, so I'll have a link in the video description below. If you're interested in the figure, you need to pick one up, or anytime you order from one of those affiliate links, you help support the channel. But I didn't take it fully out of the package yet because this guy is in here with plastic bands, as you can see there. So I had seen a funny comment a long time ago about someone saying like, oh, I wonder when Hasbro is going to stop giving us these free rope accessories. So these ties are usually how the figures are held in that cardboard tray. But it looks like the paper ties are a thing of the past because this doesn't have it. So is it a big deal? Absolutely not. Does anybody care? More than likely not either. I just thought it was an interesting thing. And then at some point they stopped putting plastic-free packaging on the G.I. Joe Classified Series figures. So interesting. We have yet to see what the return of window boxes are going to look like in terms of G.I. Joe Classified Series. Like Marvel Legends just reverted right back to what it was before. Star Wars Black Series, same thing. G.I. Joe Classified, will they go back to the window boxes that they had before but keep the same design elements of these new boxes? I hope so, because the boxes are really awesome. You get some artwork there. You see a look at the figure with all the accessories and everything. Same artwork on the side, as you can see, 83. There's the loadout for the entire figure. Lots of really cool stuff going in there. Barcode, or QR code, excuse me, that will, I think, take you to nowhere. So here we go. We got the accessories. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at Tunnel Rat. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Tunnel Rat, and it looks pretty good. The digital face print on there, not too shabby. We get some war paint there on his face. He's got this, like, handkerchief, like, tied around there. I want to say this ascot, but I don't think it's an ascot. Interesting choice. He's got the holster here for the handgun, as you can see here, and this is like old school revolver type, right, or whatever it's called. I don't know guns. You guys have to let me know, because I truly don't know shit about guns. So we have this here, this pistol, and that can holster right there, which is cool. So like so, and it looks like there's going to be storage for everything on him. He's got this ammo band that's there, and it's very loose. It doesn't really stay over his shoulder, unfortunately, so it just kind of depends. As you can see, the figure isn't real wide, it's fairly narrow, so again, it wants to droop down and wants to kind of fall. We got this wide ass backpack for him here, as you can see there, and that looks pretty good. At least the buckle's got a little bit of color to them. There's some storage in here. He comes with two flashlights, or for night vision. As you can see, they're just black with a little bit of metallic green in there, and we got those two little peg slots there, so you can port the two, because again, he does come with two, so you can have him hold these, or you can port them into the backpack. As you can see, ports in there, so then as he's holding as he's wearing the backpack, as you can see that those would light forward for him, so you have that there. He does have this satchel bag here. That looks pretty good. You could always just like flip that over his head to kind of go wherever. On his left leg, he does have a knife sheath, so you get this knife with the serrated edge there. That looks pretty good. So you can slide that knife right on in, like so, on his left leg. And then he's got the night vision goggles, which look great, and they could just port over or just fit over his head, like so. So he's got the night vision there, and it lines up quite well with his eyes and everything, so that is a really nice touch there. And then he's got the big ass like sniper rifle type deal, so it's got the stands on them there. You can just fold these up and in like so, and this gun looks pretty damn awesome. Nice sculpted detail and the scope and everything like that. Looks really good. It does have a peg hole there at the end of the barrel. Yeah, the gun looks really good. And then we do get this ammo magazine here. So, and that is going to go like so. That doesn't look right, does it? That can't be right. Probably not right. Let's see if we clip it in this side. Does that make more sense? Yeah, that makes more sense there, because the bullets would go in that direction there. And it looks like it could enter into the rifle there. So definitely a nice touch. At least I got that part right after failing miserably the first time around. But this does look really, really good. So here we have tunnel rat with everything kind of on him. I'm going to do it properly so you can see it. I just wanted to show you guys that you can essentially store everything on there. He would have to hold the rifle, of course, but the figure itself looks pretty good. And then as you can see here on his left arm, it does say tunnel rat, and you got a little rat with a flashlight there. So interesting touch. He's got some of that war paint there on his arms. We are fully pinless on this guy at the knees and the elbows. So looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and zoom out so we can take a better look at him. Okay, so there we go. So again, we have kind of the satchel bag there over his left shoulder crossbody there. The good thing is actually when you put the bag on there, it does kind of push the ammo band down onto him and kind of secures it in place a little bit so it doesn't fall over his right shoulder. So that actually works out well. Unfortunately for the night vision, there's no other way to store it. So he would either have to just wear it, you know, up over his head, something like that, because there just isn't somewhere to store it, unfortunately, or not that I've figured out anyway. I don't think he can. That would have been a nice touch for sure, but again, he would have to just hold the rifle and then he could wear the backpack and then you were all good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. Tunnel Rat's neck, it seems like it fits a little loose on there, like it's a little bit wobbly. Just be aware of that. The neck, again, is a separate piece on there. So looking up is a little bit of a challenge. His head is on a dumbbell joint on that neck piece. So looking up is a little bit of a challenge. Even that neck joint just really doesn't move back enough. Looking down is going to be kind of the same thing. It's a little bit of a challenge, although you can do it a little bit. Full rotation in that head, of course, and you could do some pivot going on in there. It feels like there's not enough clearance to truly move the head on that neck, but the neck itself is kind of really what's moving around. So you can get the arm to go straight out like so. You can do a full rotation in there. There is a butterfly joint, so getting the arm to go back, you can a little bit, not a crazy amount, and then crossbody forward. There is some, but not a crazy amount either. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. You got a double jointed pinless elbow, so that much bend there at the elbow. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. The left hand has a standard horizontal hinge. Right hand has the vertical hinge. So horizontal on the right. Horizontal on the left, vertical on the right. We got an ab crunch on Tunnel Rat, so he could crunch forward that much. A little bit of an ugly crunch there in the back. Going back and goes that much, and it's pretty smooth in the front. No real issues there. We do have a ball joint at the waist, so you get a swivel there, and you could tilt to the left a little bit there. You could tilt to the right a little bit there. You can get him to tilt. You can't really get him to tilt back so much, and tilt forward isn't really a whole lot either. And these just kind of feel so loose, and he's got too much going on here. You got the holster, you got the ammo, and then you got the satchel, and then you got the bandana around his neck. There's just way too much going on around the upper torso. He does have the drop down hips, as you can see, drop down pretty damn far there. You can do full splits with the figure. He can kick forward pretty far. The leg goes back a little bit, as you could see there. There is an upper thigh cut in there. It's a little bit tricky with the drop down hits. You want to be careful there, but there is that swivel. You get a double jointed knee, so the knee looks really good there with the knee pad armor. Not too bad. There is the ankle ball swivel. It's tight inside those pants, but you can do a swivel at that ankle ball. The foot, it does hinge down a little bit. You just have to make sure to get the foot over the pant leg there so you can get it to hinge down. Hinge up is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. You could probably work it a little bit. There is ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Tunnel Rat is pretty good, but this is kind of a loose figure. It's not super wobbly or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. But it just feels a little bit looser compared to some of the other figures. And it just feels like he's got too much going on with him here, with the holster, with the bandana, with the satchel, with the ammo. I just feel like there's too much going on, and then if you throw on the backpack, you have to like make sure everything's out of the way, and then port that backpack on there so you can have it. So just, and then it's, very back heavy, but that tends to happen with, a lot of these backpacks and stuff. So it just gets really tricky. But when you throw on, the night vision goggles, I think the figure does look really, really good. I do like the way it came out, preferably without the backpack, because again, it just does get in the way. And then one thing that's really tricky when holding this rifle For whatever reason, his hand is closed pretty tight, so you really have to work around the grip of it to get that into his hand. And then what ends up happening is you end up stripping away the paint of the skin tone to where the whole thing's going to end up being gray gloves as opposed to the exposed fingers. So it's chipping away at the paint on the hand there. So just a heads up on that, because again, you have to work that in there to get a proper grip on the gun. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we're going to make it a short and sweet review for the figure. The figure is pretty good. Again, feel is a little bit wobbly, a little bit loose in some areas, but he's a little figure. And that I think, you know, having it by itself, I'm like, oh, you know, it's kind of narrow in the torso, right? But then when I compare him to some other G.I. Joes, holy shit, this guy is small. So here's Big Ben. Big Ben is big. He's, you know, his name's Ben. He's big. His name's actually David, right? I don't know. They call him Big Ben because he's British, right? Kind of like the clock tower, whatever. Big Ben is big. Tunnel Rat is little. Look at that size difference between the two. And then here we have the Commando Snake Eyes. As you can see, that's a big size difference there as well. So Tunnel Rat is a little guy. He's a little guy for sure. It's still a really good figure, but again, lots of crazy things going on with it. If you want to take off the satchel, take off the ammo and stuff, I think it could work out, you know, less busy of a figure going on there. And you know, overall, it looks pretty good. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of it? The accessories are really cool. The detail of this rifle is pretty damn awesome. I really like it. Yes, it sucks because it's a little bit difficult to get his hands onto the trigger and kind of get it to position right. But the gun itself does look really good. He does have the handgun there, which came out nice. The knife looked really good. These flashlight accessories for his backpack is definitely a nice touch. Lots of detail in the backpack as well. The night vision goggles are really cool. The face print, I think, looks pretty good. It says, I just looked it up. It says that he's supposed to kind of be like Larry Hama. His design was based on Larry Hama. You know, I don't know that I see it in the figure. I'm looking at the artwork, you know, maybe I see it and, you know, not so much in the figure, but the figure is really cool. Again, he's just a little guy compared to some of the other G.I. Joe classified series. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Tunnel Rat figure? What are you thinking of the G.I. Joe classified series line? How do you think they're going to handle going back to window boxes? I hope they keep the same, like, you know, design elements of the boxes and just like cut out the window like here or something. I don't know. We'll see kind of when it gets to it. But you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member, be a part of the MCU collective, and show support for the channel. I truly appreciate all you guys. And as always, thank you for watching.